Fuck it. Now listen, normally I try to do it live. Maybe I'll do live more often per se. But for right now, at least, we're just getting acclimated with the bare elements outside here, Mother Nature, outdoors. It's dark. It's maybe past your curfew, but I don't have one because I'm a grown-ass man. I still own a pair of these, so, they're large and in charge enough to tell me to do this thing and go, fuck it. We're doing it outside. Who this is, one on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that good shit to find every new episode, visual and audio format of Fuck It. Brought to you by me, Who This. Who's hearing out? Space. We all need that, as the globe does as well too, to stay acclimated and alive. DAT, D-A-T, urbanized. Minoritized, but always emphasizing intelligent speaking, which is me. That's the acronym which builds and makes up my whole name and identity. And Fuck It is the podcast, the program, the show that I do every week, brought to you by me, given to you new, fresh and hot, ready to fucking deliver like I was Domino's, Pizza Hut, whichever one of those fucking scams you want to fucking use. Listen, I love pizza too, and I do have my local pizza spots I like to go to. Obviously, I can't, get beneath 200 pounds of my 6-foot frame as hard as I try because I still love food. I'm guilty, and I say, fuck it to my waistline. I'll never get that six-pack I dreamt of, in my teens and in my 20s, or in my 20s when I started working out. It's not going to happen. So at this point, I'm not going to bother either. I'm 5 years removed from 40, so at this point, why bother? The metabolism ain't there, and it ain't coming anytime soon. As much as I fucking beg that alleged pedophile in the red fat fucking suit Santa to come down the chimney, shimmying down and giving me one. If anything, I'll get a 6-pack of Corona, but then Corona's taking over the world, so maybe that's not the proper terminology to use in this case, but whatever. Fuck it. Again, catch this on YouTube, Who This Is One. Twitch, I'm building. I'm kind of leading up to that eventually. I'll be gaming. It'll be called, obviously, Who This Been Gaming. And don't forget to check out, too, Who This Been Watching. That's done live every Saturday on Instagram. IG Live back on my page at Who This Is One to catch that as well. Now, listen. The whole point of me doing this outside with the bare elements, it's not so cold, thank God. It's the first day of what's supposed to be now the weather improving here in Queens, of all places. It's not supposed to snow for 10 days. That's what NBC4 said, so fuck that guy if he's lying. I'll fuck him up if I find him in the streets, and I'll dig his face in the fucking snow, whatever's left over, if he's lying. So then 10 days counting from today. Couple things out the way too before we get to the main topic of today's episode. Also, we want to give a shout out as we're recording today. Today I believe is the day is, so by the time he gets it, it'll be the belated birthday of good friend to the show, good friend to Afro Dominicano, frequent collaborator of Frankie the Pain, Frankie Payne. Shout outs to him. Melly Murphy, shout outs to her. Rob Exotic, Rob Wesley, shout outs to him. Anilma. Calor, the band, shout out to all of them, past guests of some sorts, frequent and or multiple time collaborators of the old podcast / name I shall not mention from the past, but shout outs to Eddie the Tech. I think he's been on my shit, either the old podcast name or even Who This Been Watching as well too, maybe 4 times, so he's one of the more frequent collaborators. I like to emphasize. So happy birthday to him. At this point, when he gets it, it'll be belated, but I did already on the day of. Thank God for Instagram reminded me to do so. Wish him a happy birthday. So I hope you do the same with him. You can go check out all the old episodes with him on it. The first couple of ones with Rob Wesley, Melly Murphy as well too. There was also the one that he did with Dr. Mike. Shouts to him. And again, Frankie Payne. Or Frankie the Pain. I forget what the fuck he goes by. But either way, it's painful to not have or hire Frankie. Afro Dominicano fame, Calor fame, his own individual producer, guitar, soloist work fame, all that shit too. Good individual. But again, point is right now it's Eddie's birthday, so Eddie the Tech at Eddie the Tech on IG and wherever else I guess you can find him. Good guy, fixes guitars for a living and does a lot of for a living too with the guitars and all that. So yeah, good guy. Shout outs to him. Happy birthday. But now, really, listen, point at hand right now, emphasis on the fucking globe I'm accompanied by right now, in Queens, of course, to be specific, and shout outs to Flushing Meadows Park, or is it Flushing's Meadow Park? I've been here long enough, I still don't fucking know, to be honest, but look it up on Google Maps, it'll probably tell you better than I can right now. I don't use this so much as well as I should, and it's gotten older with time, so this is still standing strong, thank God. I like the emphasis to globe right here because we're going to be talking global affairs to a minor scale. It's not like I'm a UN expert, anything of that sorts, but I did stumble upon something rather interesting, unique, that affects the world and its climate globally on a global scale, as does the pandemic currently that we're living through and living in. Hopefully we'll be seeing the end of, according to fucking Biden, by the holidays this year, 2021, we should be back to normal. So let's hold him to that and see if he's able to come through with that promise, or at least what the fuck VP, oh God, what's her name? Kamala Harris is going to be wearing for the holidays. Because I said it before, I'll say it again, and even if it gets me in trouble, I'll still hold on to this thought, even if it's my own at this point and everyone's too pussy to say it. God damn, it's a good looking woman. I'm just trying to see what the fuck she throws on for the holidays, what kind of ensemble she's got going on with whatever second gentleman her husband's got fucking, who's most likely going to be the one picking out her pantsuit for her too to wear, you know, for Thanksgiving and Christmas at the White House of all places too. Let's see. But either way, Kamala Harris, shout outs to you, of course, fine looking woman. But listen, what's going on right now in the world, there's this whole thing involving, of all places, I wish I was sitting in front of it so I could point to it directly like I was a meteorologist. But the other side of this globe, that's Africa. The other side. Oh, wait, no, I just looked back, sorry. Faux pas, that's South America, where I'm from originally, genetically as well. Peru, somewhere up there, I don't know, fucking allegedly. The other side of that fucking globe is what we're going to be focusing on today. Of all places, 1 billion plus of them, so they matter. They got a presence. They're heavy out here in the streets. I mean, Queens is the most diverse borough of all New York and probably the world, so they're here heavy. If you don't believe me, just trip on any fucking street corner you want to in Little India, in Jackson Heights, and you'll find a plethora of them. I'm talking about the country India. Now, also leading into that would be sort of like, I guess, a joke. It sounds like the way it's being built up or I'll present it to you, but it's actually all entirely real. Now, it's like one of those walk into a bar jokes, like, you know, Rihanna, who's, you know, of course, we love to find like her clone or someone that looks even close enough to her walking into a bar or any fine establishment. You know, what do you get when Rihanna? Okay, that sounds nice. That sounds enticing, right? Mia Khalifa. Now, she might be in the gray area. You either do or you don't like her. I lean towards the part that doesn't like her. I mean, looks-wise, she's meh, whatever. Tits, great tits, you know, have helped propel careers and start them and get them to where they probably shouldn't have been, talent-wise, but looks-wise, or at least tits-wise. You get there farther than you ever would have imagined. So she's like in the middle. Okay, Rihanna and Mia Khalifa walk into the bar, but then on top of that, they're accompanied by a third party who, of all people, this is where the joke starts to see your left or right, wherever your cock swings, whatever, or whatever's up your alley, what you like. Greta Thunberg. So Rihanna, Mia Khalifa, and Greta Thunberg walk into a bar in India. It's a horrible joke. It's a terrible setup, and it's the threesome you never ever would have imagined for yourself, or let alone wish on your worst enemy. Because listen, and I can speak of Greta Thunberg, she is of age. I researched this, so I'm not talking illegal stuff. No, what's that old fucking bad joke that I probably shouldn't say here, but I will. What is it? After 12, it's lunch, or if there's grass on the field, play ball. Whatever they used to say in the schoolyards, in the lunchroom, cafeteria, whatever. But I never believed in any of that. So here's the point now. There's a whole thing, and remember, I'm keeping it politics free and international affairs free as best I can on the show. But for the sake of today, just because imagine this shit in India, of all places. Long story short, you can Google it better than I can fucking tell you or expect to explain to you anyways. They got this thing going on, hashtag Indian Farmers Unite, something like that. Basically, Indian farmers are uniting together to oppose the government and the new rules and regulations as far as farming is concerned, because it's apparently affecting their pockets, their wallets, or the rupees I think they use as a currency. So with that being said, there's a whole thing going on there. But how does Rihanna, Mia Khalifa, and Greta Thunberg get involved? Well, allegedly, what they're saying is the guy leading the movement in India to help the farmers oppose the government and what they're trying to do there with the regulations and rules they're imposing on them. Supposedly, he paid off at about the price of, allegedly, of course, allegedly, $2 million, paid Rihanna that much to retweet what he had put out. So it shows that she's in support of the movement of the farmers trying to oppose the government. Now, Rihanna did it first. She's got like, I forget how many fucking millions of fucking followers on Twitter. She retweets it, people pick up on it. Next thing, Greta Thunberg's jumping into the mix because she is about all those global issues as far as global warming and what's going on with the earth, the natural resources. I get that completely. So it makes sense logically she jump in and join in on the bandwagon. They're trying to support and help the movement go through. On top of all that now, since Mia Khalifa, she's got the whole thing where she either did make money or she didn't fucking make no money doing the porno. I don't know how many films she made in total. I think I only seen the same 5 clips of her at the same time getting drilled and getting the titty slapped around too. Or with the Habibi thing, the hijab, whatever the fuck you call it. I don't even know at this point. I don't remember, to be honest. But she jumps in because she looks at any fucking opportunity of hers to get any attention thrown her way, you know, like that, like a freebie, like a fucking duck does a crumb of bread, whatever. She jumps at that opportunity to jump in on the foray as well, and she's retweeting, and she's fucking chiming in, whatever. And next thing you know, it's a whole fucking thing. It's a three-way, it's a threesome that you never would have imagined. Maybe you could imagine Rihanna, Mia Khalifa. I would imagine Rihanna being the hot little piece of ass that she is. Would probably rub elbows, bump shoulders with the likes of Mia Khalifa when Mia Khalifa was hot. I mean, at some party, you know, pre-pandemic, of course. At some party, Miami, some bullshit like that on that scale, whatever. That would make sense. But for all three of them to come together for one cause, or let alone be in the same room at any point in time, Rihanna, Mia Khalifa, and Greta Thunberg, it's the porno that you don't ever want to imagine. Who put this thing together? Somebody's guilty enough to raise their hand and say, me, that's who? You want to shoot that motherfucker right in the head. But point is, they're all involved heavily. Well, not so much heavily, but they just happen to retweet, and now it's become a whole conspiracy over in India as far as like, oh, well, Rihanna said, you know, we have to support the Indian farmers, and that's not what we want because we're the Indian government. What we says goes, and whatever and whatnot. And then Mia Khalifa joins in the mix, and they're probably like, well, she looks like one of us anyway, so we might as well fucking try to stop that movement and try to get her uninvolved and whatever. Oh, she did porn with the fucking Habibi on. She's sacred, she's blasphemous, whatever. And then Greta Thunberg was like, well, who gives a fuck about this little gremlin, toddler, teenager looking bitch, whatever. You know, no offense to Greta Thunberg, I'm just saying, I'm envisioning what they're saying about her, just based off of looks alone, the fact that she can throw you off still. She looks like an angry teenager, she looks like a fucking female Benjamin Button. She's been fucking aging in reverse or whatever, but she's still maintaining the size and frame of like a young girl, but with the face of like your grandmother, you know, whatever. Excuse me. So as far as the world's concerned, listen, I can imagine I can only point the blame on one person and one person alone for this thing going on. That is obviously Rihanna, but also it's because Rihanna, for as long as she's been out here, okay, maybe not since the day she's been born, because, you know, infantile baby, she don't know any better. But as far as being a Caribbean gal from Barbados, a hot piece of ass since forever, or for as long as her fucking body started developing and you know, legally consensual age, she's been around and trotted around and, you know, ponder replay, all that shit. If we got anybody to blame for global warming and you want another conspiracy theory to feed into, why not look back at how the world was climate-wise when Rihanna first broke on the scene and do that time jump until now, where Rihanna practically runs the world. Whenever she posts on Instagram, whenever she tweets about fucking lingerie or the Savage Fenty line, cosmetics, bras, whatever, panties, thongs up her ass, and all that. And look at all the fucking the mania that occurs when she does that shit. Have you not noticed that the world has slowly been on the decline as far as the climate's concerned? Look at fucking polar bears up on the polar caps, Antarctica, wherever they are. They've turned cannibalistic. They're eating each other for the sake of there's no ice to walk around. There's something affecting the water where they can't feed themselves as they would normally, so they've turned to eating what? Each other. Gnawing at the chance to fucking eat polar bear ass. They might be eating their fucking cousins. They might be eating their brothers-in-law. Well, listen, in some cases, I know a lot of you don't like your in-laws, be it mother, father, brother, sister, whoever involved. Is there such a thing as cousin-in-law? I bet you there is. And if there was, and if I had a cousin-in-law, most likely I'd eat his ass too. Just because most likely I've married into the family I don't want to fucking marry into. And I'll eat that motherfucker gladly too. And I'll admit to it eventually along down the line when I'm like old, decrepit, and like dying anyways, or I can't wipe my ass no more. I'll make it to that age where I can't wipe my ass no more. Once I made it to that age, I'm out deuces. I can leave at that point. I've lived a long enough life. Because once I can't wipe my ass, and I gotta depend on someone else to wipe my ass for me, I don't need to live no more. Because you never know who gets that easily frustrated by having to succumb or drop to that lower level, even if it's their job as home health aides or whatever, nurses, whatever the fuck else going on, to have to wipe your ass. If, God forbid, they have a bad day, they're gonna dig into my asshole 3 fingers deep. They're gonna not have cut their pinky nail or something, hangnail, whatever, the cocaine pinky nail. And while they're wiping too aggressively, excavating on my asshole, the pinky is gonna fucking slash, cut, gash through my nutsack. And even if I'm 80 years old, do I really deserve that kind of treatment? Shout outs, by the way, to everything going on in the nursing homes, the elderly people's homes, and all that shit too. Allegedly, Cuomo's behind the whole scandal of neglectfulness as far as COVID, the pandemic's concerned. Listen, don't abuse the old folks. Leave them alone. Because allegedly, what they're doing to pass the time, as I've read, and allegedly I'm saying too, this is what I've overheard. And from what I understand, if you're that old, maybe there's nothing better to do but that. And I don't blame you if you are, you aren't. They're having all kinds of orgies at the old people home because they're so old. Supposedly they just forget they even done that the day before. They bump into people they find hot on an elderly person level, stage, whatever, of attraction and whatnot. Next thing you know, they got you got grandma over here, grandpa over there. They just met, or at least they thought they just met that day. They're hot, they're pulling out teeth, they're fucking turning off the hearing aids so they don't gotta hear each other. Maybe one's got a bad accent, maybe one can barely talk anyway too. They're giving each other gummies, the blowjobs with no teeth. I wonder if any one of them are eating ass because they're like, you know what, I've lived long enough, I haven't done it to an Indian elderly woman, so spread those legs open, but turn around too. I'm gonna start from the back and eat you like Hannibal Lecter, something like that. That's supposedly what's going on in the old people's homes. That's what I've heard and read. I don't know, but that's going on there too. That's maybe in the whole alternate universe besides this globe. I don't know, but I'm saying Rihanna, I think, does have something to do and to contribute to the whole world, the globe itself. This thing's climate going on a steady decline because the polar caps are melting, winters are barely existent, summers are getting longer or even more humid and unbearable as they gotten here in New York. I mean, what is it, 2005 since she's touched down on, well, okay, she's been alive since whatever age she's been born from, but I mean, as far as she got known, it's like the world knew this hot piece of ass Barbadian girl, singer, allegedly singer, because I'll be honest, she ain't that great a singer. I've said that before, and I'll stick to that too, even if I meet her one day and I'm fucking drooling at the mouth just by looking at her and checking her out. If she calls me out, if she tries to check me for fucking singing she wasn't a good singer, I'll be like, yes, I said that, but I'm looking at you right now, And I may have to take those words back now, just that I'm able to look at you in person, in the flesh. And I love to be in your flesh, and I'll be honest in that sense too. Even if I'm married by that time, even if I got children, I'll be like, listen, Rihanna, if you want to, if you need to, I'm sure my wife, my significant other, will give me that hall pass to do so, because it's Rihanna, for God's sakes. Or Beyonce, or who else am I thinking of? Maybe even now, Kim Kardashian, since wink wink, she's back on the market. As per breaking news reported last week. Of course, too bad it didn't last. Kanye and Kim, but it's all right. Those things happen. Shout out to Kanye. If anything out of this, we'll probably get like 808s and heartbreaks too. But I'd say, and I'd hope, and I pray, for the sake of the children, let's not make it messy. Let's not make it tabloid riddled. Or better yet said, let's not leave Mom, Kris Jenner, in charge of this whole thing to make her look good and him look bad, because it's been proven already. He didn't take enough time away to just be with himself or find himself after Mama passed, rest in peace, Donda West. Kind of jumped into the whole relationship with Kim, and then now, unfortunately, they had to get divorced. Don't stay together either if it's going to be toxic or just that terrible or take that much of a toll on the children either, because they don't deserve that. But for the sake of, let's just leave Kanye alone for good this time, and hopefully he'll know to stay away from the limelight this time for a good while. I mean a good while, like at least 2 years away from everything. Don't drop music, don't do a thing. Come back when you're healed and strong. Take care of your kids. Again, take care of your kids. And please, then come back. But more appropriately enough, going back to the main thing at hand, again, to close things out, listen. Rihanna, I'm going to have to start this conspiracy theory if it isn't already out there, because people are out there saying Tupac's still alive. I might believe that somewhat. Basketball players, overly paid people that do nothing constructive to add to humanity or mankind, are stuck on the fact that this thing is flat instead of round, as you can clearly see right now. Now listen, that's your interpretation of it. Whoever built this fucking thing, if not, they would have built a flat version of it, and they'd probably be getting slapped in the head by the architect by the time they were fucking done. If you're a flat earther, better yet said, that's on you, but stay away from me and probably don't listen to the show, because if I find out who you are, I might have to fucking point you out, and I might have to reveal you for the dummy that you are. But that's all right. Rihanna may have contributed to global warming steadily progressing as it has from 2000 and whatever fucking year she debuted from, 03, 04, 05 maybe, with Ponder Replay, lighting up the charts, heating things up, making it too unbearable enough for me to have sweatpants on just by looking at her, seeing how attractive she was, a pretty young Barbadian, mocha-colored, sun-kissed, bright-eyed, pretty thing as she's been from then until now. She's only gotten thicker. She's only gotten prettier. She's only gotten finer. She's got more tattooed. She's got everything going for her, too. She's a fucking a mogul, beauty line, beauty products, fashion, music, taking over the world slowly but surely. And she's still young enough to still have a good while ahead of her. So that just means we are at risk of seeing the end of the world soon enough. Probably until Rihanna bleeds down there, aka she starts going into menopause. Only then will the world realize it needs to stop being such a simp for Rihanna. Global warming, I'm blaming Rihanna for that shit. Why the fuck not? Greta Thunberg is not enough to take on the global warming threat that is Rihanna Fenty. And Mia Khalifa, stay the fuck out of politics. Stay the fuck out of anything that doesn't concern you, because you're fake. Listen, I hate to fucking point my finger like this to a woman and call you fake, let alone a fake bitch. But listen, we don't know your story. We can't really believe you. You need more people, better yet said, point, case, blank, period. That's it, and that's that. Oh, fuck it. That's this episode for today. Bearing the elements outside here in Queens, New York, as I've done before, and I'll gladly do once Rihanna takes some shade somewhere inside, aka stay your fine ass inside so the world here, Queens, at least New York, can finally start to warm up. It's the end of February, but still, March, April, we need to see spring, summer. I still remember the 4 seasons out here in New York, but I haven't remembered them as fondly as I did when I was younger, as I do now as an adult man. And then when I get older, it's only gonna get worse, and then allegedly the 4 seasons are gonna be a fucking fable that I won't be able to convince my children of otherwise. And guess who'll be to blame for that? And they won't believe me either. And I'll have to fight my children about this day in and day out. Rihanna Fenty, of all things. God, what a piece of ass. But God, what a threat to our global climate. She's the one burning up extra holes into the ozone. The ozone layer, at this point, closest to where Rihanna is, wherever on the globe right now, it's spread wide open like a whore's legs. This is terrible. But then again, worse things can't happen, and most likely will, and then the world's going to end anyway, so too. Let's see if what else Rihanna does to us besides makes us drool. Ah, fuck it. Another installment brought to you by Who This. You can catch me again on all platforms at Who This Is One. Ah, fuck it. You can catch that wherever you get your podcasts from: Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes. Did I say Spotify? I probably did already, but just in case, again, Spotify. Wherever you find your podcast from. Wherever you got to get your podcast from, too. If you go and dig inside your mom's asshole and she's got something tucked away as far as a podcasting platform there, too, guess what? Digging deep enough, you'll find me in there, too, as well. I'm everywhere, even on fucking Amazon. Just not for sale, just for redistribution.
It's over.
Purposes.
All right, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
Thank you.
All right.